Men's basketball coach Joe Lombardi joins us in the studio. Jack,
yes,
why don't you do this?
Okay, well, he has his basketball coat on that keeps him warm here today. But you know one thing about basketball, you play inside.
And get to wear shorts.
I came up, I checked the temperature, Jack. It's a nice 72 inside the KCAC. If you want to warm up this afternoon at 3 o'clock, you can come on down to the KCAC and...
This is good. You know, it's strange playing. We were talking about playing on a Monday afternoon, playing in the afternoon, but postponed from Saturday. But it's great because most of the kids don't have school today, as far as high schools, and the students from IUP are trickling back in. So
sure, we start classes tomorrow, so it's a nice deal today. We didn't get much snow, obviously, over the weekend. We didn't get what they were calling for. That's a shocker, but. The problem would have been Edinboro coming down and going back, and the safety of the athletes. And, they got hit pretty good along Interstate 80 and above there over the weekend. So we're glad to play the game today. When you get used to a Wednesday, Saturday schedule and you don't have a game, it feels pretty awkward. But football's over except for the Super Bowl. It's cold out, and classes are starting tomorrow. So it really feels like basketball season right now.
Yeah, we're in the home stretch here, the last 6 weeks before the post. So how did you do it? How did you, when you knew you weren't going to play Saturday, as far as practice, setting that up, change things, and not only are you getting ready for Edinboro today, but I know you got California on Wednesday.
Right, a little bit of a quick turnaround there at Clarion later in the week. So we have 2 home games this week. People have an opportunity to come out and see the ladies and ourselves. And we actually took Thursday off. We got back from Stroudsburg and got home about 4 a.m. on Thursday. But it was a good bus ride after the win. And then we did some shooting on Friday, and we actually played some dodgeball, Jack. Okay, did some shooting, some weights, and just did something for entertainment value. We try to keep the experience fun, and no matter what age you are. I didn't play though, Jack. I would have pulled a hamstring or something, but it's still an enjoyable time for the athletes.
Yeah. Well, I always like when you play Dodgers ball. Anyway, that's another story. Okay. Hey, 15-1 on the year, you're 5th in the country. You knew coming into this season this was going to be a pretty good team because you had senior leadership, you had key people back and all. You got to be pleased with what's happening so far, especially coming off a tough road trip with 3 games and you won 2 of them and almost pulled off the other one.
Well, I am, Jack. We obviously coming back with some all-conference players, so you do have expectations anytime you have that. We challenge ourselves with the schedule. Out of the, not counting Westminster, out of the other 15 Division II teams we've played, 13 of them have winning records. Just we've played Gannon, and that doesn't have a winning record at this point. And who's the other one? Help me out, Jack.
Well, let's see. Doesn't have a winning record
in our conference.
In the conference,
yeah. But so just to get around to the point, okay, we've played 6, 7 out of the top 10 teams in the region, and so these guys have been challenged, and I'm pleased with how they've faced the challenges. But the biggest thing is, can we get better between now and March? And that's what we're trying. We're trying to get ready to win the next game, but we're also have an eye on, are we getting better in the areas that we can?
You've had to coach a little differently, too, because you lost a starter, Greg Barrer. So somebody may say, okay, 3 points a game. But we know, those of us who see him, and you're coaching him all the time, that he is a big part of this team, 19 minutes a game. And he does a lot of little things that coaches love.
Yeah, he's a threat from the three-point line, our best three-point shooter. He provides great leadership on the court. Okay, and just has a good mind for the game, is in the right spot at the right time, and sometimes that goes unnoticed on the court, just his execution. So, Anthony White, who walked on 2 years ago, gave us good minutes at Stroudsburg, and that's who, we're moving forward, looking to get him some more minutes and try to help him grow and develop and get more comfortable out there. And he did a nice job in the game, and I think he'll be an adequate replacement for Greg, but we hope to get Greg back in 3 or 4 weeks.
Edinboro, the opponent today, having an off year. They've lost a couple of guys because of injuries, key guys. But Edinboro's still, they come in, they're playing a nationally ranked team, a number 5 team in the nation. You got to be up for every game, right? Even a team that's 4-10.
Sure. They're good. Yesterday we practiced. We talked about playing down. You got to play to the standard, and there's a level of IUP basketball that we want to play to, and even sometimes in practice when we go up against the second team there's tendencies. It's human nature. Playing down. That's human nature. You have to be conscious of it, and you have to fight against the human nature in a lot of things in life. But in sports, it's very easy to drop down. We saw the Steelers against the Raiders, and I don't want to open up any wounds for any Steeler fans out there, but some other games where they played down to the opponent, and it caught them. And so hopefully our guys have the maturity and the focus to compete and not do that.
Well, you get to the point where you have every game is so important. There's a little bit of leeway when you're 15-1, but you don't want to see that happen. I mean, you got to keep this string going, and especially when you play at home. You just came off three really tough road games. Got to win at the KCAC.
Yeah, absolutely. That was our toughest stretch of the season, probably at Mercyhurst, at Slippery Rock, and then at East Stroudsburg. And they all play 3 different type of style of basketball, so there were different adjustments to be made over that 7-8 days. But we're glad to be home. We're looking forward to the students coming back today, and the community, and what a wonderful job Tom McConnell and his staff are doing. So it really is a nice time if you're a sports fan in Indiana County to enjoy both of these teams.
We're spoiled, but we love it.
I know you are, Jack. But we're also spoiled to having you, okay? You're, the voice of Indiana County. I know you, when you say that, you're talking about the radio station. But I think you're talking about Jack, to be honest with you.
He's the heart of Indiana.
Oh, the heart of Indiana. Okay, I'm sorry. The wrong adjective.
Todd, do you have anything for the coach?
I want to thank you, Coach, I did a game on Wednesday night last week, and I was driving home, and I got to listen to the East Stroudsburg game. So thanks for a thrilling ride home.
Great.
I wanted to talk about distractions, though. In the course of a basketball game, in the course of a season, these guys have to deal with a lot of distractions, and there were some of them in the court the other day. In-game distractions are one thing. Season distractions like getting classes started and things like that are another. That has to be a part of the way that you prepare these guys to play their season. Yeah,
they're all young men. They're all living their own journey, and they have a life outside of basketball. And Willem found out a week and a half ago his mom has cancer, but it feels very optimistic and it's treatable, and that's very traumatic for a young man. Greg and some other guys lost a young man, a friend that they went to college with last year, had passed in the last week or two, and they got to deal with those things. So, and there's other stuff. We had Chucky Humphreys lost his dad a month ago. They're not robots. They're young men, and hopefully we're pouring into them, helping them grow outside of just trying to win basketball games, and how to kind of deal with some of the different adversities in life, and to keep your faith and to keep your hope and a positive outlook, and move forward and control what they can control, and also teaching the people around them the importance it is to care about each other and support each other. And so the basketball's been a good distraction for some of these other people that are dealing with much huger things in their life. Within that game at East Stroudsburg, though, guys probably grew a little bit just because of the distractions they had to face, that kind of environment and having to play in that. I know what you're talking about now, Todd. I'm sorry. I went the other direction. No, I was Jack was both. Very up. Jack was as annoyed as I see Jack. It's not easy. He doesn't, in my mind, he doesn't get easily annoyed. But they had an announcer at the table that I don't know, thought he was a rapper or something. He was, and just the way he was accentuating every bucket that was made, and he was a cheerleader at the table, and that's not professional, and I don't think the league wants that. But that was, I guess, a little bit, didn't distract me. I tuned it off. I just kind of thought he was my wife, and I tuned it off. No, my wife's wonderful, but that's an in-home. That's an in-home joke. But some other things didn't necessarily go our way. There was a turnover, and we were going to have the ball, and and a guy chested up to Malik, and Malik kind of threw his arm out to get off of him and got an unfair technical, and afterwards it was viewed, and it should have been a double technical, and we would have maintained the ball, but instead they got the ball back, they scored, and they got 2 free throws, so it was a 4-point gift. But those are things, sometimes we get breaks like that, but those are things that we had to try to overcome. And stay the course, and really proud of our guys. That was a strong, mentally strong game as we've played this year. So
Yeah.
And I was going to bring up, you have 2 guys in Kobo and Dante that are going up the ladder in assists and points scored and rebounds and whatever, and they have passed some Hall of Famers, some pretty famous people that have played ball here. So you've got to be. Not only as basketball players, but the way they've handled themselves, and they're your leaders on this team. There's no question about it. They've been doing the job for you.
Yeah, they're not perfect. They have their moments, Jack, but overall they've been. I think both of them have been assets to the community over the last 4 years, and a lot of their success comes back to the team's success and the longevity that they've been here. And when you're able to do things the right way, and care about. And care about people, the game finds you, the success will find you. I think those guys are kind of examples of that.
One other thing in following up to making them into good young men, you are always hearing from other players from time to time, players that have gone on in their life's work. But you're involved in the community. I saw just recently the team was with some of the younger people, students, at Indiana. You like to go to the different schools involved in the community. That's all part of this, isn't it?
Absolutely. We try to grow them, put layers on them at different levels, and it's important. All these guys have been blessed with not only talent but opportunity, and we just try to make a reminder that what are we here for, and it's not just basketball. There's other things that matter, in your life, and hopefully they take some of those traits and continue to be an impact on the people that they're around for the next 50 years.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, 3 o'clock today, Edinboro. What else is there to do on a very cold day? Huh?
Let's tee it up, Jack.
You got
as they say on the golf course.
Yeah.
which will be here soon.
Yeah, you hope. But first of all, we have to deal with what's coming up here in the next 6 weeks and beyond, because the regional is really interesting this year, and it's always challenging, isn't it? Yeah.
We can't write the script, though, Jack.
No.
We got to keep playing one day at a time.
Thanks for coming in. I'll see you in a couple of hours.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate
Sure
it.
thing, Coach.
Have a good day.
Lombardi, there you go.
Thank you, Jack. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM, and the Sports Minute with Boomer, brought to you by S&T Bank.